DJ LeRoy.
Night Watchman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So, Night Watchman, you haven't been hanging out with me at some of these galas. Why? Why is that, man?
Because I'm like Jason Statham. I'm a working man. I'm working.
You just had to go there. Why? Why? Anyway, you know what? This is all going to be about art because yesterday I was at the Romare Bearden Foundation's event downtown. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? I think on this particular show, we will have some OGs, those who have been here before.
And a few new ones who we are glad to have with us.
You know, well, one of the OGs, because I think she ranks with having come on Soul Lounge Prime Time myriad of times. As a matter of fact, I think we even have a special jacket for her. Saundra Heath. Yes. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay, so we're not big like Harlem Arts Alliance and Voza. We don't have gear yet, but we're working on it. And Saundra, you're the first in line when we get the gear. You know.
Thank you.
Exactly.
We will stop by the Heath Gallery and have a presentation ceremony.
I'm honored.
Right on the steps. I'm loving that. Okay, Night Watchman. You know what? You do think outside the box, and that's why I like you.
I do.
Yes. Man, oh
I think
man.
that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, see. Now remember, Night Watchman, one time we actually even traveled by ferry to another island. You know what that was?
Yeah.
Governor's
Island.
Okay. Yeah, Ulysses.
How's it going?
Good, my brother. Yes, indeed. So, Ulysses, how did you also become a veteran here at Soul Lounge Primetime? What's that about?
I think I was lucky enough to know you, and you've always invited me in right before our season or during our season on Governor's Island, Art Crawl Harlem, our artist residency house.
Oh, thank you, my brother. See,
I think it has something to do with the work that you put in there too. So I'm just saying, you know, we know you do it every year, and we appreciate what the work that it takes to produce what you do. So thank you for joining us.
Year.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Watchman, are you trying to like clean up my stuff? Is that it?
No, I'm not cleaning it up. It was, he said it was because he knew you, which is fine. But it's not that we know a lot of people. Okay, Curtis knows everybody, so everybody doesn't just come back and come back and come back.
That's right. You're right. Night Watchman, thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, I was also at a place, the Affordable Art Fair, and I ran into a dude, and I saw Hudson River Art Collective. Like, what? Who's my man? Could that only be Nathaniel Cox? Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. But hold it. Now, Hudson River Art Collective, I'm thinking the Hudson Valley, but not necessarily. Where you guys located, man?
So that is an interesting question. We do get that a lot. So we came up with the name Hudson River Art Collective because when we started or came together to do our first show, we had artists from New Jersey, New York. I think at that point it was like 6 artists from New York, 4 or 5 artists from New Jersey, or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
so we wanted something to connect both and not make sure both are represented. So the Hudson River connects New Jersey, New York. So that's what we use for our name. Beautiful.
Thank you for that. But now remember, there is no intelligent life below 96th Street. Can I say that, Night Watchman?
You can say anything you want to. I mean,
it is our show, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Listen, we still got free speech at last I checked. So
barely hear it. But remember, now sometimes people paint Harlem with a broad brush and they just say Harlem. No. There's East Harlem, Del Barrio, Spanish Harlem, right? There's Central Harlem, where, of course, good old Saundra is located there with her gallery. But then there's also, where I live, West Harlem, okay? So let's bring out Michael, man. Come on, bring him out. Yep.
Welcome, Michael.
Welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely, bro. So, okay, you have Harlem Arts Alliance. You have Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. And now we have West Harlem Arts Alliance. Do tell, man.
That's right. For a long time, West Harlem was sort of like a little nebulous type of area. It didn't really have any real kind of representation in the arts field per se. And maybe we felt a little ignored. But as a creature of the community benefits agreement with Columbia University, specifically to address that issue and ameliorate that situation, the West Harlem Arts Alliance was created, and we're brand spanking new. We're just 3 years old now.
All right, beautiful. Well, welcome, Michael. And Night Watchman. There's also someone. I believe she's a veteran, but she's coming back from Detroit and Harlem. So maybe she was on that flight delayed because no more, what's that, TSA operators or something like that, federal employees. So maybe
let's come back. No, let's come back to that.
Okay. Thank you, Night Watchman. We'll do that. So, you know what? Because she is returning guest and a veteran, Saundra, let's start out with you. And you tell us about the Heath Gallery and also how long you've been at the helm with your husband. Tell us all about it. Saundra.
Sure. So the Heath Gallery, number one, is located in Central Harlem, directly across the street from Marcus Garvey Park between Lenox and Fifth Avenue. We've been here since 2002, and we started because my husband, who is an artist, when he got ready to show his work, he first went downtown to Soho because that's where all the top galleries were. He was roundly rejected as a artist, and so we decided that we would show his work here, and then soon after, we began to show other artists as well. So that's what we've been doing since 2002.
Beautiful, beautiful, very, very nice. And you know what? I guess one of the other things that we have here, we have a number of organizations like you, Michael. I'm not sure about you yet, Nathaniel, but you, Ulysses, that are 501c3 nonprofits. Okay, so of course that allows the ability to apply for grants and so forth. But so I think I'm going to just ask you, Nathaniel. You guys are a 501c3 nonprofit.
We are not currently.
Okay. What is that something that you guys are working on?
I will say never say never. Hadn't crossed my mind yet, but who knows? Maybe one day.
As they say, hope does indeed spring eternal. Yes, indeed. There you go. So having said that, so what are the other 501c3 nonprofits? Ulysses, do tell. Tell me about Art Crawl Harlem.
Well, Art Crawl Harlem, it was founded actually not as a nonprofit. It was founded around 2008 by two Harlem dwellers. One was a gallery owner and one was a New York City tourism guide. And they decided that they wanted to start a guided trolley tour. And so they did that seasonally. And they did that throughout Harlem, the Barrio, West Harlem, Central Harlem. They went to galleries like Heath Gallery, artist studios, and institutions like the Schomburg Museum. So they really bridged the gap with that trolley tour. And then they branched off into new ideas as far as curating their own shows along with the trolley tour. And then somewhere around 2016, they applied for the nonprofit status. And here we are now.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. And Night Watchman, just curious, the person from Detroit, have they landed yet or what?
Absolutely.
Oh. Well, hello. How was the flight? Can you hear us, Miss McLeod? No,
we don't hear you.
Okay, you're gonna work on that audio of yours, okay? And we're gonna come back to you for sure. But I want to talk to this other newbie in the 501c3 nonprofit status, Mr. Michael Palma. Do tell us about West Harlem Arts Alliance, man.
Well, the Arts Alliance, not unlike the Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance and the Harlem Arts Alliance, is here to serve the arts, the artists, and the arts organizations servicing and working in West Harlem. West Harlem is one of the most culturally and ethnically diverse communities in all of New York, probably outside of Jackson Heights, Queens. And so we're definitely tapping into that rich diversity. Of course, its history. And like I said, we're just 3 years old, but in 3 years, we hit the floor running, and I think we've done a lot, and I think we have a lot more to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, would you say that West Harlem Arts Alliance is a result of, let's say, the lockdown and COVID, or something more? Tell me.
Well, it's something more because since I've served on the community board for many years, and especially on the Arts and Culture Committee. As a matter of fact, I was its first co-chair, and we've been working very, very hard to support the artists and the arts organizations here. We have quite a few of them. And when the community benefits agreement came around with Columbia University, we made sure as a community that the arts was going to be taken care of in that situation. So there's the promise of an arts organization, which after the agreement was signed in 2013. Mm-hmm. So you can see it's been this concept and notion has been around for a while.
Yes.
But and finally the organization was started 3 years ago. But the CBA has the promise of not only an organization but also a space in the new campus that Columbia is constructing there in Manhattanville. So and that'll be in phase 2. They haven't started phase 2 yet, and who knows? It'll probably be another 3 or 4 or 5 years before they complete it.
Wow. Well, yeah. God bless them. Still above ground. Life is good. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man. And dude, Saundra, knowing that academic institution in West Harlem, you're there in Central Harlem. Has there been any collaboration with, let's say, the folks there at Columbia University and or CCNY?
We haven't had any direct collaboration with Columbia, but we have had several of their journalism students come to the gallery over the years and cover, what we're doing, and also cover other galleries in the area. And so we appreciate that. Artists and art galleries are always looking to increase their visibility. But yes, we would love, and I know some of the other galleries that are right in the area would, love to look at a larger and stronger relationship.
Beautiful. Columbia University, do you hear that? Okay. We have talent right here. Okay.
Lots of it.
Thank you. Well, Ulysses, what say you in terms of a relationship with those two institutions of higher learning?
Not directly, I don't believe. Although I do believe in the past with the college, there was some programming that the founders did have, but that was years ago. The closest I have now is that I know that for several years, the Columbia University Hispanic dental students really came out on a yearly basis. I actually hosted them for some programming as well, which was exciting. And they first ran into us at our exhibit at Kente Royal Gallery in 2020.
Gotcha. Beautiful. And of course, I don't even have to tell you, Nathaniel, you know about Harlem, you know about, let's say, the institutions of higher learning that are here. Now, you up there, let's say in Hudson Valley, I mean, I think about, let's say, SUNY Purchase. I think about New Paltz that do have a pretty extensive art community there. So tell me, what say you in terms of relationships with institutions?
I guess because we're a little bit newer, we don't have that many relationships with newer institutions. Obviously open to working with anyone if it makes sense, but I would have to check it out and see.
Okay, beautiful. Well, you know what, NightWatchman, I'm gonna let you do something because I know that, remember, you love art and it extends beyond just comic books. So what say you in terms of these books?
Comic books is an art. Don't play.
Hold on. Just be clear. I did not say it was not, but I wanted you,
Okay, all right. We want clarity. I want to ask Nathaniel a little bit, Nathaniel, excuse me, just a little bit more about your outreach and how you connect with other artists, and just a little bit more about how your collective came to be.
Yeah, you can call me Nate, by the way. But it was very much grassroots, to be honest. It was last year, I think it was the end of 2020. Yes, last year was end of 2023. And I literally was on my artist story, said, hey, I really want to go do this show next year, but I don't really want to go with another gallery. Like, who wants to join? And then I got a large amount of artists say, hey, we're interested. And then a couple people dropped out. Obviously, it happens with every endeavor. And then a couple of people jumped in and decided, hey, we need some branding. Came up with a name, got a quick website up, did the show, did better than we expected, and then I
Mm.
asked everyone at the end because I think we were in a group chat for the actual event. Said, "Hey, like if you want to keep this thing going, send me a message, let me know, we'll figure it out." And it was almost unanimous. I think there was only one person that didn't vote, but I don't think they voted at all. So every person who voted basically said, "Yes, let's keep this thing going." So we basically went from doing one show out of the blue, Art Expo New York last year, and then I said, "Hey, let's apply for the Affordable Art Fair." No idea that I was actually going to get in. Didn't think I was going to get in. Then you apply and you got in. You're like, oh, okay, this has got a little bit real now. So we applied, we got in, and in the past 2 years, we've grown from 11 founding members to 22. So we actually just got back from the Affordable Art Fair Boston, which is pretty successful for us as well too. So pretty happy about that.
So Nate, were you always on the path to be an artist? Because we've seen some who they go the route of having a job, and then they just figure it out. This ain't for me, and then they make the pivot. And then there's some people who just always like, this is what I want to do. I'm just gonna figure out how to do it.
I think the short version for that question is I don't believe in 5-year plans anymore. This was very much, I think I went to, when I was in high school, we had a dark room, so I did film photography. I personally have a background in engineering, went to school at Stevens. Shout out to Stevens at Hoboken for electrical engineering, did a minor in computer engineering. And then I didn't get back into photography or any type of art till, or at least from like a production perspective, to like 2017, 2018-ish. But it's funny because I did go to the Affordable Art Fair, spring break, a bunch of different art figures in the city before I even had any inkling of being like, hey, maybe I could view this art thing. So it's very weird to kind of see the transition because I didn't see myself being the head of a co-op gallery at all. It just kind of happened. So that's really the background behind it.
Wow. And talking about people who like pivot, because remember, Saundra, I know your background. We talking about marketing, branding, and whatnot. But please, was it just because with your husband being, let's say, rejected and not accepted by some of these quote unquote mainstream galleries, did you guys say, the hell with this? Let's do our own thing?
Absolutely. That was absolutely what happened. He refused to be turned down. It's like, okay, these folks have rejected us, but he wasn't going to allow his career to be stopped. And also, we learned that there were so many other artists in Harlem who were seeking opportunities. And we were also hearing people suggest that the only art scene was downtown. It's like, you've got to be kidding. Harlem has been the global art mecca, forever. So we decided that we would utilize what we had, and that's what we've been doing and, learning all, along the way. And I'm really excited to hear what Nate is doing, because one of the things that we encourage artists who come through our doors to do is to build community, is to function collectively and collaboratively, because artists and all art institutions have more power when we connect and collaborate.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And I see you, of course, shaking your head, Michael. And I remember in our neck of the woods in West Harlem, I knew that there was a downtown gallery that had gone into what we call the factory district there for a period. And now when they came, did you have any collaboration with them? And of course, I'm talking about Gavin Brown, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. No, unfortunately, we weren't informed back then. And I think you're talking pre-COVID. No, we did not. Our organization started, much after he had already gone. But as you know, we were in the Innovation Triangle. We were right there across the street. We had activated the empty retail space in the Tasty Lab building. And we were there for four glorious months, and we were collaborating with everyone and anyone who wanted to come by and do a show, an exhibition. Of course, we produced our own events and place-making events there. But it was a lot of fun. It's Manhattanville, which is sort of like the heart of West Harlem. The year before, we had activated Hamilton Place, the old Hamilton Place corridor, with another space activation, and it was called West Harlem, Where Art Lives, underscoring the little-known fact, or maybe it's not so little known, is that while a lot of people work and perform and present, and in Central Harlem and to a certain degree East Harlem. West Harlem is where artists actually live. Many artists live here. And if you go to our website, you'll see the whole history, starting from even before the Harlem Renaissance, during the Harlem Renaissance, and post Harlem Renaissance, and even till today. All the sort of people who have called West Harlem home. You can go to our website and check out that list. This is a kind of interesting list of names, and that's at whaanyc.org.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And of course, Ulysses, man, come on. West Harlem, that's where I live. Now, NightWatchman, am I an artist?
Are you?
I think so. I think sometimes I drop some daggone pearls on you. You know this, man. Come on.
Okay,
I mean,
you have to define yourself as an artist. It's not for me to say.
Wow. Okay, Ulysses, you're gonna have to help me out here. And
no, I was going to say you curate a nice group of people. Maybe you're not an artist, but a curator.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I mean, in the context of what we've been talking about, the collaboration, curation is a form of art, and Saundra and Ulysses are ideal examples of that. And Curtis, I would say you are too, because you're the one who pulls these shows together all the time.
Well,
so
NightWatchman, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So listen, we're all artists in a sense. Art is creativity. Creativity is part of the human spirit. It's what separates us from the AI. Yes, I said it. Yes.
Yes, you
now,
did.
ChatGPT is going to come after me later on, but it's still true,
Yes.
So, and the collaboration is so important in our communities. Just what Saundra was saying before. You listen to her history. You think about what Ulysses has been doing. You think about the other galleries, Curtis Jacobs Gallery. We're on the eve of the reopening of the Studio Museum in Harlem. And, so that there's an art ecosystem in Harlem, and there's always been support. The Harlem Renaissance was 100 years ago.
Yes.
This ain't new. Art is not new to this neighborhood.
Not at all.
And it's always been part and parcel of it. And it's one of the reasons why Harlem is such a big tourist destination.
That's true.
People come up for the art, for the culture, for the music, for the cuisine. That's all part of it. And the reason why our artists survive is because of the collaboration. Because God bless the child who got his own. That's Saundra right there. It's like, all right, y'all don't want to book my husband. We don't need you. We got our own.
Wow, NightWatchman, you are not just a pretty face. I'm digging this, man. Wow, very nice. So, Ulysses, man, you got to tell me that in terms of how do you identify your wonderful young, engaging artists? Because I'm really, really impressed when you bring out your roster, man. Do tell, man.
It's and some of us are just still young at heart. Okay. For the past 6 years, it's always been an application process. The first few years, I had a set of jurors that would help select. But at this point, I've been selecting on my own with some advisement from our board. And I try to select artists across various genres. Like this year, we have installation artists, we have conceptual artists, we have fiber artists, photographers, painters, collagists, and it really all comes together very well. I think this is the first time I've let the artists really rule the house as far as the direction of their work. All of them, as part of the application, it was imperative that they could work independently, and they had a focus and they had a story to tell. And I've had 16 artists this year. Each of them received at least 2 to 3 month residencies. And right now, over the past 2 weeks, we've been doing a culminating group show. And it's been really exciting to see. And also, we've been doing a salon series. So all 3 cohorts participated in salons where it was really about them critiquing each other, offering advice, explaining their processes to each other, and really getting to know each other better, and exploring their abilities. And some rise higher than others, but I feel that our residency program is a real starting point for a lot of artists. I see them go on and start doing their own solo exhibits here and beyond, start enrolling in certain art shows like you mentioned earlier. So I'm really proud of the program. We've done more than I really expected or envisioned, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's one thing. Okay, so when we talk about that, let's say Hudson River Art Collective, I'm thinking about West Harlem Arts Alliance in terms of, let's say you guys have a roster of artists now. Would you also encourage any of your artists, if there's an opportunity there to have residency on Governor's Island, that you may say, yeah, seek that? Michael, tell me.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're making a recommendation right now to the LMCC for their artist residency this summer. They're dealing with climate, I guess it's the same, and I think they do that there annually. Absolutely. We are here, as you know, the chairs of CB9 Arts and Culture Committee often say, together we're better and stronger. And so we always seek collaborations. We always seek opportunities for artists, especially for artists here from West Harlem. And this is our mission here at the West Harlem Arts Alliance, is to spread these opportunities around to the artists here, and then also see if we can help them along in any way.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Nathaniel, what say you?
Yeah, for our group, I think we primarily tend to focus on the art fair scene, but I would love to get, more of the artists that we have internally to get more opportunities out in New York City. So if there are residencies or partnerships with galleries or things of that nature, we have very talented artists, and I would love to, get their work out there. That's our viewpoint on it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, one of the things, and Nathaniel, it was great meeting you at the Affordable Art Fair. So, having heard that, guys, and Saundra, I'm going to pivot to you now. Okay, Affordable Art Fair. What does that mean? Well, that's one. And then two, is there a way that you can have, let's say, a conversation with a prospective buyer of art but has no clue, no idea? How would you advise that person?
Sure. So I'm not sure what your question is specifically relative to the art fair.
Well, no, I'm thinking. Well, that's true, because remember, in terms of the art fair, this was quote unquote the affordable art fair. So let's say that art is being presented that is affordable, but let's say you're just a regular art fair, and it may not necessarily have those price points there, but Saundra, because you're in there, about the potential investment and return. Go ahead.
Sure. So my approach to advisement is to encourage people to buy what they like, buy what it is that they respond to, buy what makes them feel good, buy what they're curious about. I'm not necessarily encouraging collectors or aspiring collectors to buy for investment. Is buy what moves you. Particularly now, I'm encouraging collectors, and particularly collectors of color, to think about protecting our culture, archiving our culture. But we have an administration right now who is looking to wipe out history, to marginalize our experience, to say certain things don't exist. Buying art and buying specific pieces is a way to become a curator and protector of culture. There may be things that, even if you look at this painting that's hanging behind my head, the guy in the White House, he went after the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. because he didn't want this story told. And we're able to show this now, but it wouldn't surprise us if 3 months from now, if 6 months from now, it was considered divisive to show this kind of work. So for the person who added this piece to her collection, this is a very important story that she'll be able to pass down. It's something that is physical, it's tangible. They're also going after wiping out digital, files. So I personally am encouraging people to collect historical pieces, be it an original painting or a print, or even if it's a book, a physical book.
Beautiful, beautiful. And certainly, Michael, you were talking about in terms of the myriad of artists who hail from, West Harlem and whatnot, and knowing about, let's say, this erasure, whatnot. Do tell me. So, what has inspired you? Because I remember, and everybody knew that if you went to a particular event, you would typically see Michael Palma with what? With a camera taking pictures. So, tell us, man.
No, I photography is a passion of mine. Of course, I have a master's in fine arts from Columbia in theater, and I spent most of my life in theater. And when I got the opportunity to do what I did in theater, which is ostensibly raise money, especially for capital renovations, improvements, and new construction, when I got that chance to do it here in my hometown of West Harlem, Harlem in general, I jumped at the opportunity. And so, and if there's anything that we can do, and I think it is one of our missions, that we do not let this administration suppress the voices of folks up here and uptown. And I take that rather personally. And this is what we do with our space activations, what we do with our West Harlem Artist Showcase, which we had featured 7 artists at the Uptown Night Market. We had our own booth there, and they sold their work. They, on average, according to our numbers, they sold on average about $2,000 or $3,000 worth of art at the showcases on average. So we think that's wonderful. That's great, and I think we have to keep plugging away and keep doing what we do, and irrespective of what's happening down there in Washington.
Gotcha. Very good.
That also brings up. So one of the things we see about artists is, in general, we see a sense of political and socially consciousness. We're seeing so this acclaimed artist Amy Sherald, who was supposed to exhibit in the Smithsonian, and she pulled her exhibit because of the censorship that's going on there, and landed that exhibit in Baltimore Museum of Art. And so that type of activity with artists is about not just making the art, but also kind of living the art and living the statements. And I wish you guys could also kind of comment about that, because I know you've had that same kind of activity in the things you guys are doing.
Yeah, advocacy is a big part of what we do. And I've been working with a handful of artists here who wrote a very carefully worded letter to our congressmen and to our local electeds, and to let them know that we are not very happy about what's happening and that this has to stop. This really came out of this recent effort came out of the fact that a lot of our local organizations here lost their NEA funding.
Wow.
And so now this is NEA funding was never really a big part of any organization's budget, but it's the message that it's sending. And we felt like we had to say something and do something about it. And so our organization, along with many other local arts organizations here in West Harlem and in Central Harlem, for that matter, wrote a letter to our congressmen. We wrote letters to our locally elected officials to let them know that we are very dissatisfied with what's been happening, what has happened, and that we want to work with them in some way to address this issue.
Gotcha.
And there are a lot of artists here in West Harlem who feel that way, obviously. And right now, I'm working with Michael Unthank at the Children's Arts Carnival, Stephanie Berry at Blackberry Production. So we're really trying to activate or be active here in West Harlem as much as we can be. Of course, there's only so much you can do. Like I said before, we don't want to be silenced.
Gotcha. And hopefully, I heard that siren. They're not coming for you, Michael, are they? Just wondering.
No, that wasn't for my.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So Ulysses, man, do tell. I heard about the funding from the feds. Has that been a concern of you guys, or what? Tell me.
No, not necessarily, not at all. Art Crawl Harlem, like I said, we started this residency in 2020. And if it wasn't for the small financial resources we had at that point and some donations from individuals, we really wouldn't exist right now. I've only done 2 grants with LMCC and I think the Empowerment Zone. And we've really been, surviving on our own. And if it wasn't for Governor's Island, we might not be here if we didn't have space. And weren't able to afford the insurance on that space and to furnish that space. And then the thing about Harlem, the Harlem blueprint is everywhere. And I always say Harlem is everywhere. People come to Governor's Island and they see Harlem on our banner and they're like, what are you doing here? They like to put us in a box. And so I say Harlem is everywhere. When we know about individuals in the Harlem Renaissance, they went from the Bronx to Brooklyn and beyond. And that's what Art Crawl Harlem does. We get on our trolley and we keep it trucking for artists. And I did want to make a note on collecting. I've been collecting for a little bit now, and I have, I guess, well over 50 pieces of work, anything from $36 and up. And I agree with Saundra Heath as far as it's about what you gravitate towards and speaks to you. But I would also like to say that it is an investment. It's an investment in your legacy and the artist's legacy, especially when it comes to Black artists telling the stories of the diaspora. And although my collection comprised mostly of Black American artists, I also have art from Afro-Cuban artists, African artists, imprisoned artists who are not Black. So there's so many ways to support the arts, and I hope that I do that with my collection as well.
Beautiful. And well, for you then, Ulysses, knowing Governor's Island, and especially those structures, tell me that they've done some stuff to upgrade.
Well, they are doing some slow renovations, or quiet, not slow, quiet renovations in some of the buildings. And so I'm hoping that the nonprofits and the arts and environmental space, which inhabits those historical homes, that we're not in jeopardy. Because sometimes the arts is the last thing that people think of when they do start to renovate and upscale.
Gotcha. And Nathaniel, man, so let's say your membership is about maybe, let's say 23 or so, right?
22.
22, gotcha. So now, are there any artists, and they have skills, but let's say maybe the subject matter is a little bit that you have backed away from?
Honestly, no. I have one artist, not a Black artist. She does glass mosaic, feminine art. Shout out to Sarah Fishbein. And a lot of her messages are very female empowerment. So I have not had, and I think she has a couple LGBT pieces as well, and actually sold one of them last weekend in Boston. So I don't have any issue showing work, in my opinion. And I think that especially when it comes to the art world, if you go back through time, it almost acts as a time capsule to kind of see what was going on at that period of time. And I was actually at an art event last night where a lot of the entire collection that the artists have on display at the solo show was commentary on the current time society. And I think it's important to limit the censorship of the work. Obviously, like, if you have smaller children, maybe don't bring your children to the show, or, depending on where you're showing your work, curate it a little bit better if you're going to have some sensitive audiences. But in general, I do believe that you should be making work that speaks to you, that speaks to your vision and what you believe, because otherwise you're not really making art.
Gotcha. Now, Saundra, I already know your answer. I already know this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So no censorship. Also, I'm thinking about Brian Stevenson and the lynching exhibit that I believe he has in Alabama.
Correct.
All right. So now, is there any but let's say artists who you said it's just a little bit iffy, but and you decided not to really exhibit their stuff. Now, as you heard from Nathaniel, nah. What say you?
You know, the only work that I have chosen not to exhibit is nudity.
Okay.
And that's often because it's important to me to bring young children, into this space. I'm always looking to, connect with after-school programs or schools, and it's just for a number of reasons. In addition to that's just not a preference.
Gotcha. So okay. Night Watchman, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to ask Saundra and Ulysses. They've been with us for a while. And matter of fact, we went through the COVID together, and we've had a few shows, and that was a challenging environment. So I wanted to just kind of revisit, and now that we're firmly on the other side of it, and just kind of go back and look at how that environment was for you guys and how you got through it, and where do you see your respective organizations now post that environment.
I'll go ahead and jump in.
Go ahead, you got it.
Before I even answer that question, there's just something that's pounding in my brain as we talk about. I just wanted to mention the West Harlem Art Fund and Savannah Bailey and the work that she's doing with artists and bringing art to the public sector, bringing art outside essentially, because I think that has been untapped, and that's important work that I wanted to mention. But relative to COVID and what's happening now, I feel like, COVID was this one major thing that happened then and that we're continuing to experience.
Yes, indeed.
On a regular basis, something else. I think COVID gave us new ways to think about how we showcase, art and artists. I think COVID expanded our use of social media, and that's continuing. But I feel like COVID was one hurdle, and we're just keeping, we just keep navigating, through these hurdles, and we keep having to reinvent new ways to think about how we get our art out there, how we promote artists. I think COVID has increased the importance of collaboration. I think that we're going to continue to see that as increasingly important. I think the way, artists work with galleries and galleries work with artists and artists work with nonprofit organizations and galleries work with, with nonprofit organizations. There's this kind of constant state of reinvention.
Okay. Ulysses, you heard that, reinvention.
One advantage was that before COVID, I didn't do any of these virtual things. So now I'm much more comfortable in that space. But COVID was quite interesting for me, just knowing, and then I tried to look back and look at history and realizing there was the 1918 pandemic. So we've been here before, and we somehow got through it. I also say that, I never caught COVID, but then I caught cancer, right? Several months after the lockdown, I got ill with something else. And yet I still push forward. I think that it's so important that even in trying times that we push forward. So when we were able to open the residency house, I opened that house. I went ahead and we did our art exhibit at Kinte Royal. I thought we did it very responsibly as far as setting times for groups of individuals to come in so that we could track who was there just in case anyone came down with COVID. And then beyond that, then when that was done, I started my cancer treatment and got ready for next year. I think that as an only child, I'm used to putting a lot on my back. And I put expectations on my artists that they will show up for the world. I have one artist right now still telling COVID stories. She's been interviewing women that were pregnant during COVID, and she's doing portraits of them along with their children.
Wow.
A beautiful testament of the time. And like Nathaniel mentioned, basically artists chart history, where we were, where we might be again, and hopefully how we're going forward from here on.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Michael, and listening to Saundra in terms of, let's say, COVID, yes, definitely, but then also the ability to also have art outside of, let's say, a gathering, internally, outside installations. What say you in terms of that approach?
Well, for a while, that was almost like the only approach. And if anything, that COVID underscored is really how much the lack of space, especially in Harlem and obviously here in West Harlem, can really hinder an organization and its ability to present and support and advocate for the arts. And so what we did was we activated spaces. And right here at the Hamilton Place corridor, we just activated a bunch of shuttered storefronts, and we featured 55 West Harlem artists. And it was up 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Wow.
And right next to one of the art installations of Savannah Bailey McLean had at the time, and at Montefiore Park. And this is the same thing we did at Manhattanville in the activation of the Tasty Lab building, where we couldn't put anything behind the glass because that glass was you couldn't really see through it during the day.
Gotcha.
So we put posters on the glass, and we call it the West Harlem Wall of Fame. And what we did was we featured 21 West Harlem arts organizations. And you can still go there today. It's still up. You can still walk there and hit the QR code and find out more about all the wonderful arts organizations that we have here in West Harlem.
Beautiful, beautiful.
No.
And go ahead, Saundra.
Yeah, something else I wanted to mention that for the last 3 years in partnership with the Charlie Parker Jazz Festival and Summer Stage, we've been showing artists outside. This past August, we showed 22 artists outside. And one of the things that happens is, not everybody is comfortable going into galleries or going into museums for whatever reason. But when you bring artists outside and artwork outside, that gives people in the community an opportunity to engage with artists. It gives artists the chance to meet people that they may not meet, to engage in different kinds of conversations. So that piece is important. And I think that there is an underrepresentation, particularly of people of color, in what happens in these outside spaces. So I think that's important.
Gotcha. Nathaniel, tell us, Hudson River Art Collective, what do you guys in terms of some outdoor installations?
We haven't been asked to do that yet. Not against it. We actually just onboarded our class of 2025 in terms of new artists, and we actually have a sculptor in that class. So, we have a wide variety of styles and mediums. So if we were ever asked to do something, actually, I think I remember too, Melissa, shout out to Melissa. She actually does murals. I think has been working on a couple of murals as well too. So we have the talent to do it. So if we were asked to do it, we could probably do it.
Okay, beautiful. So one of the things, NightWatchman, I believe another one of the events occurring, I think, early next year is, of course, Harlem Fine Arts Show. So I'm circling over to you, Saundra. Will you be involved?
I'm not sure that I will be at the Harlem Fine Arts Show this year. I have been in the past. I think it's a great opportunity for artists and galleries once again to get in front of an audience that you may not have, talk to people that you wouldn't necessarily talk to, because you have collectors from all over the country and you have artists from all over the country and galleries from all over the country. So it's a great opportunity to network, to see something that you haven't seen before, but really to build audience. And both artists and galleries need opportunities like this to showcase their work. The other thing that the Harlem Fine Art Show does is there's an education piece. So there are often seminars, that are held right there during the exhibition hours. And so it's an opportunity too for artists to meet gallerists and curators and to connect with advisors and, to learn something new in addition to exposing their work to a new audience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm thinking in my head there, Ulysses, one person that you both have in common at the Harlem Fine Arts Show, of course, is Uncle Richard Peltzer. So do tell me, you going to be involved this year?
Uncle Richard Peltzer. I've known him for quite a long time, and I've collaborated with him on several projects. I will not have a booth this year.
Okay.
I did for 2 years, and I had to have a limit. I can't work 14 months out of the year, right? Somewhere I have to take a break. But I will be there. I will be there, and I will purchase, as I have, and support the artists there and the Fine Art Show. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Michael, do tell.
Yeah, we were there last year. Vosa Rivers. We share a booth with the Harlem Arts Alliance and Vosa Rivers, and Vosa is very gracious. Now they have a pretty big booth. They're gracious to invite us for the first time, and our sort of part of it was curated by Ruthie Valdez, a West Harlem curator, and we featured some wonderful West Harlem artists, Sage Gallen. For example, Ruthie exhibited some of her own work. And I just spoke to Vosa a couple of weeks ago at our booth at the Uptown Night Market, and I asked him, "Do you have a booth this year?" And he said, "Yes." And I says, "Are you going to invite us to be part?" He goes, "Absolutely." So we're going to be there this year, and I think I'll tap Ruthie again to curate the booth for us. And hopefully we'll feature some very fine West Harlem artists.
Beautiful. And I'm wondering, Michael, I believe I had gone to a beautiful installation at United Palace. Okay. And was Ruthie a part of that? Just curious.
Which one? It depends. You're talking about the NOMA exhibition?
Yeah, I think it might have been NOMA. Correct. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No, I don't think she was part of that particular show. I don't think she has a piece in it. That show was curated by Nidia, the executive director of NOMA. And guys, if you haven't seen it, I definitely go check it out. I think they are featuring over 20 Uptown artists from Washington Heights and Inwood. And it's always a fantastic exhibition. They do Women in the Heights every year. And this particular show, I think the theme was substance.
Yes.
And so what is it that artists are doing to get by, and what do they feed on in order to do their work? And so I think that's a wonderful exhibition. It opened when I went to Minnesota this past week to go to the Grant Makers in the Arts conference, and I'm just coming back from that conference. And so on my agenda this weekend, other than going to the Brooklyn Museum to catch the Monet exhibit, I'm going to check out the NOMA exhibit there this weekend as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I saw a head nod of recognition, Saundra, so do tell.
He said so many things, I'm not sure.
No. So, because I think the recognition was when we talked about, of course, United Palace. So you were familiar with what was happening there.
Yes, I'm familiar with the United Palace. I'm familiar with some of the annual shows, the annual women's show in particular, and it's really a big, beautiful show with a cross section of women and art styles, and you just get to see some really wonderful work, but also meet new artists. As a gallerist and curator, I'm always interested in meeting new artists, seeing who is out there doing something different, and even seeing how artists that I've known for a while, the new approaches that they're taking in the artwork. So it's always, something that I look forward to every year. And that there are just some beautiful spaces, uptown that it's always great to be introduced to.
Beautiful, beautiful. And of course, Nathaniel, you heard about the Harlem Fine Arts Show, which is coming. You guys planning to come south?
So I've actually been to the Harlem Fine Arts Show a couple of times. Actually, earlier this year, 3 of our other members, I think David, Natasha, and Sherwin actually exhibited. In terms of doing a booth there, not opposed to. I think David may be doing it next year. But I think we also needed a little bit more of the art style that caters to the type of audience that goes to Harlem Fine Arts Show. I think we now have enough of that. So in the future, we can see what happens.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
May I ask, Nathaniel, is Sherwin from Philadelphia?
No, I think he's based out of Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. What's his last name?
Kador.
I believe I bought a piece from him last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had he sold, I think he was there last year, and this year he shared a booth with Natasha Marcano.
Yes.
And their styles are very, then you probably did. He's
Yeah.
a brand new member to the collective. Natasha's been with us since last year. So
Extraordinary. Both of them extraordinary artists.
They're fantastic artists.
Yeah.
Great to work with.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Night Watchman, you know what time it is. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, but before we get to that, I just have to say this show has just kind of highlighted the diversity and the ecosystem of Harlem. There are so many different places where artists get to engage with people. And I want to also just shout out some of the coffee shops and restaurants who also make their space available. In particular, I'll mention Mushtari Cafe, which is a coffee shop inside a hardware store, which is artistic in and of itself. And I've seen them use their space and give artists an opportunity to exhibit there for a few weeks, their stuff. MBHD neighborhood. The owner there always has an interesting art on the wall, and he
Cafe One
periodically. Cafe One. So shout out to that, and also something that Ulysses said earlier on that triggered something in my mind when he was talking about wondering if he had to worry about the renovations because artists are often thought of last. And I've noticed that there's been a pattern in New York outside of Harlem where when an area is kind of still up and coming, they open up the space for artists to make it hot. And that happened in the kind of lower Midtown area where loft spaces were developed that used to be not suitable for, it wasn't legal for those to be residences, but artists went and got the cheap space and was able to have, a home working space where they could do their art and also live there. And then they got priced out and they got pushed into Williamsburg, and then they made Williamsburg hot, and then that got priced out and they moved to Bushwick. So there's been that pattern that has not happened in Harlem. We've continued to find ways to embrace artists, not utilize them to make things hot and then push them out. It's like Harlem became hot with artists and kept the artists. So I just wanted to kind of say that. So yes, it is time for our lightning round.
You historian. I like it. Okay.
Well, context is everything,
Yes, indeed. So, Night Watchman, why don't you set it off in terms of the lightning round? Go ahead.
All right. So we'll start out with Michael.
Yes.
Right.
Just some last words.
Yes.
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm sort of new to the game here. I spend most of my time not being in front of a camera, but behind it. But if I had to say one thing, our next, I want to talk about or say that we're helping an artist, a West Harlem artist, with an artist talking workshop, Hannah Leo, on Friday, November 7th at the Soroya Gallery at the Hispanic Society.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly it. So, Nathaniel, Hudson River Art Collective, what you got going on? What's coming up?
Yeah, so we just literally finished Boston Affordable Art Fair Boston last week. The inaugural one did great. I think this year that may be it for us show-wise, but we're working on a pop-up for next February. You can follow us at Hudson River Art Collective on Instagram. Check out the website. We usually try to put up our information for upcoming shows there. But yeah, if you're interested in new art, DM us. If you want to follow along, join our mailing list, and we'll let you know when the next show comes up.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ulysses, you mentioned in terms of applications that will be coming out. Do tell us, Art Crawl Harlem, baby. Talk to me.
Two things. The 2026 applications for Art Crawl Harlem's Artist Residency Program should be out in December on our Instagram page as well as on our website. So I do encourage people to apply. I am thinking across the lines of Afrofuturism and world building, new world building.
Oh, I love it.
Across all cultures, as far as the inspiration. Beyond that, I'm on the board for the New York City Equity Arts Gallery, and we are having a fundraiser in December. So I encourage people to go to that website as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Saundra, because you know what? You were nice and early. You have the last word, my dear. So do tell Saundra. Tell us.
Thank you. So on November 14th, that's a Friday night, I will be opening a solo exhibition with a Nigerian artist named David Obi. He works in oil and watercolor, and so I'll have a series of portraits. I think it will be fabulous. I invite everybody to come. That will run through, I believe, the first or second week of December. I also want to take this time to encourage everyone to vote.
Yes.
Artists need to be civically engaged. Artists, I encourage you to become a part of your neighborhood association, your local community board, any place where decisions are being made. And one thing that I think that we all who are here in Harlem have to be concerned about is how Harlem is becoming less affordable. And there are so many artists who used to live in Harlem who are being priced out. They're not able to find apartments or homes that are affordable. And that should be of great concern to all of us who are Harlem based.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know what? And just for nothing. So, Saundra, I did my DNA ancestry. So I thought it was going to be, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Mali, Guinea, 39% Nigeria.
Wow. Okay.
Probably Igbo, baby. Yes.
Igbo for sure.
So NightWatchman, based on this, will they be invited back to the cookout? I just want to know.
Absolutely.
You're Igbo American.
Okay. And so here, you will be invited back. But if any of you put any damn raisins in the potato salad, out. Right?
Can I close this out now, bro?
Yes, you can. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. So first of all, as Saundra said, get out and vote. If you're listening to this live, vote tomorrow. Anyway. So other than that, this is Soul Lounge Primetime on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Also live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You can always find us on Monday nights, 7 p.m. on the radio, 8 o'clock on those live streaming platforms. Thank you for this panel to just remind us how important art is in our lives. And you'll see them again at the cookout, as they say.
Yes, you will.